Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Feeling Unstoppable podcast. I'm your host, like always, Cindy Montoya. And if this is the first time you're tuning in, welcome to the show. And if you're back for even more, without further ado, let's get into today's episode. And yet again, I am not alone. I am super excited to introduce another guest, a part of the Cindy and Friends series. He's an up-and-coming singer and rapper from Miami who's been on the rise since 2016. He's performed alongside multiple artists such as Jake Miller, Arizona Zervas, and has headlined through LA and Boston. Here to talk about his life, career, and most importantly, his music, Baybe Jay. Hello,
Hi.
hello.
How you doing?
Welcome. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I was super excited when you reached out. You hit me up on DM.
Yeah.
I think I took a little bit to answer, but I always take forever. But I was super excited you reached out.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about the show?
Well, I was on Instagram, and you have a good reach, and you popped up on Miami podcast, and I clicked it and fell in love with the show.
I'm
so I had to reach out.
Yes. So let's get straight into the interview. Got a couple questions for you about your music, about your life. So let's get this going. So what genre of music would you consider yourself to be in?
Hip hop.
Hip hop?
Yeah.
Do you get any influences from any other type of genres, artists, or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, I like to mix a little Spanglish here and there, because my first language is Spanish, and I was very influenced by Daddy Yankee.
Yes.
Growing up. Yeah.
El
like,
Chico. No, wait. What's his thing again? El Big Boss.
El Big Boss. Yeah.
There you go.
And like Wisin y Yandel. I even love Romeo Santos. Like, you know.
That's El Chico del Poesía. That's what I
El
was
Chico
originally
de
going to say.
Poesía. Yeah. So yeah, I'm influenced by those artists, but mostly like Drake also, and Big Sean from the more like inspirational side, and Lil Wayne. He's the GOAT.
So would you say you're more into like chill rap versus like trap, drill type of rap music?
Yeah, I would say. I like, for example, I like making more like upbeat rap, but still kind of telling like a story, whether it's like love or if it's, you know, about my life. But yeah, I would say I like those artists like Wayne, Drake, like Big Sean, like Kanye. Like they really get into their life and you know they tell you a story.
So you said that you do like Drake. Your opinions on his recent album. This is important to talk about. I thought it was good. It was different. At first, it took me a second to adjust to it, just because it's not what we usually get.
Yes.
But I thought it was great.
But you know what? I love that he did something different, because people get tired of the same thing, you know? Like, people get bored. Like, there's so many artists that do the same thing over and over and over again, and you just like expect it from them. Whereas this is kind of like, whoa. Like, it hits you like, whoa, he did this? Like, but yeah.
And then especially, like, I think techno is coming back up. Yeah. So he came out with that one, and then Beyonce, like, a week later came out with not the same thing, but it's kind of the same, like, type of vibe to it. And that was a hit. But I think it was just a little bit different, because it was like, Drake, what are you doing? Like, why are you getting into techno? But do you think you get influenced by current trends that are going on music-wise?
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially Drake is always ahead of the curve. That's why this album doesn't really surprise me, because we had One Dance, we had like Controller, we had like those songs.
His like reggae type of dance hall music.
Yeah, so that's why when I heard this album, I was like, oh, it's not too far off. It's just he did it more now. But yeah, I'm definitely influenced. Like, even like when he did Spanish.
With Bad Bunny?
With Bad Bunny. Oh, I love that song. Well, even before that, he did it with Aventura. But when he did it with Bad Bunny, I was like, okay.
That song was overplayed at one point. That I was just like, I love them both, because those are my top two artists. But I was like, I have to turn it off. So what was your life growing up, and how do you think that affects the music that you make today?
Oof.
Like, take us back from Baybe Jay.
Well, my love for music started when I was 5, which was due to Daddy Yankee. And growing up, I kind of had it in me that I knew I might be like an artist, because I remember like family parties, I would grab the control and I would just like rap Daddy Yankee to my family.
What was your go-to karaoke song?
Yo Boy, like Yo Boy,
Boy.
Yeah, that one. And obviously Lo Que Pasó was
Of course,
huge. But yeah, that whole like Barrio Fino album.
That's the best one. I think it's funny though because people are like, "How are you listening to that at 5 years old?" But you grew up in Miami, no?
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell people that we're never like living here, or have never lived here, especially growing up. I was like that. Yeah. We don't like listen to Wheels on the Bus. We listen to Daddy Yankee growing up. Yeah. That's Daddy Yankee, Winston and Yandel. Like we were listening to music that probably we shouldn't have been listening to. But like you said, like it has a major influence in your life. Yeah.
And I didn't really understand most of the things he was saying.
You were just singing it.
So, but it's very catchy. So
yeah.
I was so around that time I was doing stuff like that, but I thought I was gonna be a soccer player.
Really?
Yeah. I was really into soccer. Like I wouldn't eat because I wanted to stay all day outside playing soccer. And
did you play in high school and stuff?
No, I gave up in middle school.
You gave up in middle school?
Yeah, because
like, I'm gonna stick to music.
Yeah, well, also I was a selfish player. I like to score all the goals, and so when you go to a team, they make you do all these other things, and I was like, no.
There's no I in team, but there is a me.
Yeah. Well, see, in music, I'm an artist now.
You're by yourself. It's just you. So how did you start getting into rapping, and what was the turning point for you to kind of pursue this as a potential career?
So 2 years after I discovered Daddy Yankee, I was writing in my notebook like a cappella, English, Spanish. I was singing, rapping, but it was still very fun to me. I didn't think it was gonna be something till I got to middle school, and then I met my two homegirls, Becky and Shawnee, and we made a rap group called 3 Clicks, and so I pretended I was Drake, and they pretended they were Nicki Minaj, two Nicki Minaj's. And so we would rap in front of the classes, like science class or math class. And then I was like, you know what? Let's get to it. So I grabbed my computer microphone and I started recording there. And then
with them or by yourself?
By myself.
You're like, no, fuck the band.
They were just kind of like, I think they just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I want to do it. So I did it and I put out my first music.
Were you just getting free beats from YouTube? Or like the cover beats, I guess?
There was a website at that time. I forgot the name. But they even had like instrumentals with people singing like the chorus.
Oh.
And you just had to like rap on the verses. And so that's how I was putting out the
Do you
music.
still have them?
No, I took them all down.
Why?
It was really... Actually, they're on Facebook, but I can't get into my old Facebook.
Neither can I. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out there though. You can possibly get them. Look back. Have you seen the growth from?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's gonna be growth, but like, is it a big change? Is it still you?
Yeah, it was still, the music was still pretty bad still onto like 10th, 11th grade of high school. It was still it was very raw, but I knew I had talent.
There was something there.
Yeah, I knew I had something. But yeah, it was really bad. Like people in school were like making fun of me.
For real?
Yeah, they were making fun of me.
Do any of them talk to you now and be like, hey, remember me?
A lot of them came to this side now. Like they're congratulating me.
Of course.
Like they like the music now. But I actually appreciated that because it kind of prepared me. Like not everyone's gonna like the music anyway, and it just made me get better.
Kind of like fueled your fire. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to like it now, but you're going to like it at one point, honestly.
Yeah, I just believe that, if I worked hard, maybe I could turn them, like switch them.
Exactly.
And that's what I did.
So what was the reaction of telling the people close to you that rapping and singing was something that you wanted to pursue? Ooh. Wait, actually, let me retract that. So is this rapping and singing, is this all you do?
Yeah. This
is your full time.
Yeah.
This is 100% what you're investing in.
Yeah.
So now, going back to the question, what's that reaction for the people that are the most closest to you, and who are they?
Okay, I was peer pressured into going into college. So
by like your parents?
Everyone, best friends, everyone. So they didn't take it well, like everyone. It was hard to believe. But the past like 2-3 years, I would say since like 2019, like I switched them too. Like they believe too. So, but at first, yeah, it was kind of like, you should actually. I was in school and all the time, we would have like these activities where the teachers would be like, okay, you're gonna write down your plan A, plan B, plan C. For
like in senior year.
Yeah.
Like mapping out your life.
But even that, like in 10th grade.
Oh wow.
Earlier on. And I was always like, okay, well, my plan A is I'm going to be an artist. And then the teacher would be like, okay, what's your plan B? I'm like, well, the way I see it is if I'm already thinking about plan B, then I'm already doubting plan A. So I don't have plan B.
I feel like that's like people, especially in a career form such as art, whether that's rapping or, you know, like visual art, people are very like, no, like that's not an actual job or it's not stable, but like at the end of the day it's what you love to do, right? And it's like it's what you're passionate about. So I think that's something to even be more proud of. And like you said, you were getting peer pressured into going to school. It's something that you didn't even want to do. And personally, like I know people that were peer pressured into going to school. They ended up flunking out and wasting a whole bunch of money and like then not knowing what to do because they didn't even want to do that from the beginning.
Yeah, I was depressed like when I went to college for like a year and a half.
What, you did Dade?
Yeah, I did Dade. I couldn't get into FIU at that point in time. My SAT scores weren't that high.
Mine weren't either.
That's
We're not discussing
that
on here though.
But yeah, I went to Dade. I had some help but I still had to pay like some.
Where were you going into study for?
Music business.
Okay.
But I was so pissed. I was still doing math. I was still doing like.
Oh no, I know. That's what I'm doing marketing right now. Yeah. But the amount of math that I'm doing, I get it. It's business, but it's like a different type of math. It's like all stats, and I'm just like, I was like, I didn't think I was gonna have to do all this. But I
was like, why can't I go straight into what I want to do? And so I was just like I was in college, and I was like, okay, like I'm here because of them, and I'm not putting any time into my music. And at that time, I was just like, it's either I do it or I don't. Like, I'm going to be 19. Like, at that point in time, I'm going to be 19, 20. Like, it's either I go all in or I don't.
You do this for someone else or you do it for you?
Yeah.
And you picked yourself at the end of it, which is important. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're like, don't be selfish.
Yeah. You
have to pick yourself. So how did you block out that negative opinions and feedback, especially when you decided I'm pulling out of school? You're out, right?
Yeah, out of school.
How was that?
It was tough. My parents weren't very happy, and I was getting critiqued by my friends too. But it was always like, oh, how are you gonna do it? Like, how are you even gonna go on tour? Like, you don't have enough fans, you don't have enough music. Where are you gonna get the money? I was like, well, okay, I'll just work 2-3 jobs. I'll make the money.
Did you?
And that's what I did.
What were you working in?
I was making coffee. I was working at hotels. I was selling clothes. Yeah, Starbucks, lids, Marriott hotel type stuff. Like, I was really grinding it out, and then I was going home and I was just like working on the music, trying to get better, networking, trying to meet new people. And that's when I met my engineer, and that's when my life changed.
And so do you go to do you pay studio time?
Yeah, well, so we switch a lot, like, throughout these years, because I met him in 2016. He either comes over, or we go to a studio, or I go over, or we were actually roommates, like, last year.
For real?
Yeah.
So it's very, like, remote. Like, you guys go wherever?
Yeah, wherever, yeah. Like, or we would record at home, like, yeah, we just record everywhere. But yeah, the blocking out the negativity, going back to that, I was a little mad at everybody, basically. I was mad at my best friends. There was a point in time where I wasn't really talking to my best friends, like, for a few months. I wasn't, like, my relationship with my parents wasn't that good.
Do you think you were mad because they weren't understanding, like, they weren't seeing your point of view from the whole situation? Yeah.
I didn't feel supported, so I felt like I was going into it by myself, and so...
Which is kind of scary, I would think, yeah.
It was very scary, and I didn't know anything about the business either. So it was like I was studying, I was going to work, I was making the music, I was networking, and aside from that, I had to get better in the music because the music was like, it still had to get better. So it's like still working on my talent. So I still had to like freestyle every day, like write, and yeah, it was tough. And then once 2016, 2017 came, I was doing shows and stuff, and that's when they were like, oh
maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, like, but I turned them around like 2019 when it was my own tour,
which we're gonna get into. Say that one.
Yeah.
Are you currently signed to any labels, or are you choosing to be independent? Because I think you're choosing to be an independent artist.
Yeah.
I asked this because it's becoming more of a popular thing now to be independent, just because there's been a lot of legal issues and stuff. Especially now, I think a lot of like labels are forcing artists to like go on TikTok, make their audience, pre-save my music, or if you don't do it, like my label won't let me drop my music and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Are you trying to stay away from being controlled by someone else?
Yeah, I am, but I am talking to people.
Okay.
But
can you drop any?
No, because nothing's set yet.
Okay.
But I do get advice from people who are like
in the industry.
Yeah, or like who are like record labels, but we don't, like, I'm not signed.
Okay.
It's just like they consult me.
You're out there, you're a free agent.
Yeah,
independent.
Yeah. But I'm looking for the type of record deal that I want. I just want control, or I would want like an independent record label, like a, not necessarily like a big corporation,
like
record
Sony
label.
Or Universal Music.
Yeah, although if it comes to that, like, I wouldn't mind eventually maybe joining them, because you know they're amazing people. But like for right now, what I would prefer is something like that, where I can have more of the control of what I'm doing.
I know. Well, Miami is very known for the reggaeton and Latino trap scene. How is it being more of an English artist in Miami? Is it harder to find these type of labels to like look at you or even get some feedback from?
The labels I talk to actually are based outside. So
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta,
LA.
Yeah. Though I talk to people like, Miami is more like like you said,
it's
reggaeton.
Latino, like, so because that's what I'm interested in going into. And I know, especially since I want to work with Latino America and everything, it's all of it is like reggaeton or just like completely Spanish music based. So I was just curious to see. So you have to outsource from like other states. Okay.
But I like that it's like that here, because it actually influences my music a little bit. Because, for example, my album, I had 2 Spanglish songs.
Yes, I was listening to one of them this morning. What? How does it go? Sing.
Can't Stand 'Em, maybe. Or like Sabrosa. Yeah.
It's the one. I was like, yes. I was like, this is good.
And like, it's very dirty. But my fans who like live in like Ohio or like Kentucky, or like, they know like the Spanish songs, and they actually Sabrosa is like one of their favorite ones.
They're like, yes. They're like, because we don't get that over here.
Yeah.
So you're bringing a piece of Miami to like other states that probably don't.
Yeah, but still staying true to myself, because I do want to stay in that lane where I want to go to, like the like I said, like the Wayne, like Kanye, Drake, Wayne, like lane. That's like what, like Jay.
But you're giving homage to your roots.
Yeah,
and you're giving respect to your roots, which I think is extremely important. That's what makes you different at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Perfect. So how easy does songwriting come to you, and where do you get your inspiration from?
It depends. I've written songs in the shower.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I think people don't know, but there are artists that go into like writing boot camps and stuff. Yeah. So that's why I'm asking, is it something that comes naturally to you, or do you have to like always like keep working on it to be like, okay, this is gonna be a good song?
I take a long time with my music. So my first step usually is, if I'm at the studio, is freestyling and just kind of finding the melody, and from there maybe finding the chorus first, so I could go into the verses, and then I'll freestyle, and most likely I'll have like mumbles like through the verses, and then I'll start writing
them in
over it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what was your life growing up, again in Miami, and that influence that it's had?
It was fun. I'm very thankful for Miami, especially like when you go outside of Miami and like you see like different places. I love, like, I live in Miami Beach, so 3 blocks down I have the beach, and I'm a walker. I love to walk.
And you have Brickell, like, right across.
Yeah, I live 4 blocks away from Lincoln Road. Like, it was very going to the beach, playing sports, playing with my friends, hanging out with friends, and like freestyling in the car, or like freestyling at home.
Did you freestyle at school? Because I knew, like, where I went to high school, there was like a thing at one point. We were just like freestyling. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I did. It actually helped me a lot, because I mean, it's
you're getting
it's
hyped
tough.
up by everyone. They're like, ah.
Yeah. But it is nerve-wracking because everybody's looking at you, and like sometimes it's like battles. And like you don't want to screw up.
Did you go? I mean, Miami's known for it rolling loud. Did you go this weekend, or have you gone?
I didn't go this way. I went like 3 years ago.
Okay. Oh, that's when it was like actually good. Because now I've seen it's not that good.
Yeah,
Kid Cudi he walked himself out of the stage because they kept throwing water bottles at him because it was supposed to be Kanye, I think.
Yeah. And Kanye still came out or something.
I know. I was like, I was like, why? I was like, what's the point? Like,
I was
you
confused.
freaking catfished everyone to buying tickets to Rolling Loud just to go see you, and then you decide to drop 2 days before, or so they say.
Yeah, I was confused too. I was like, what? Like, I thought he wasn't coming.
Who did he come out with?
Lil Durk, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Miami is your roots.
Yeah.
Inspires your music. What does it mean to be able to perform here?
There's no other a better city than Miami. Like, the crowd it's incredible.
Have you performed already in Miami?
Yeah. 2016 I did Miami. 2017 Fort Lauderdale. 2018 Miami. But I haven't done a concert since 2018 here.
Okay, which we'll get into.
Yeah. But,
So how do you stay motivated through the ups and downs that the entertainment industry brings?
Oof. I remind myself why I do it for, and I do it for my parents, because my dad, like, my parents were like immigrants, and they came here.
Are they both from Venezuela? I know we were talking about that a little bit before this entire interview.
My mom is my biological mother, since they know she's Cuban, but my stepmom, who raised me since I was like 7, she's Venezuelan, but my dad's from Guatemala.
Okay.
And like, he basically came here by himself when he was like 17, and his dream was to be like a track star, like a runner.
Okay.
And I don't know, I guess it just didn't work out here. Like, he had to obviously like work or like learn the language.
The typical immigrant dream type of thing, which I completely connect to. You know, my parents came from Colombia, Nicaragua. Of course, they all had their issues back then. So I get what you mean.
Oh, okay, you're Colombian.
Yeah.
And Nicaragua.
Yeah, so I get what you mean, especially with, you know, seeing what your parents go through and then, you know, doing something for them. So I completely respect that.
So yeah, when I'm just feeling down, I just remember like, well, I'm doing everything I do, I'm doing it for my parents. So I have to, like, how am I gonna be able to take care of everyone if I can't like take care of myself?
Of course.
So like, get it together. Get
your shit straight. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of your milestones. How did you land your chance of sharing a stage with Arizona Zerbas?
So I had no idea who he was at that time, actually.
He sings Roxanne, which is I think it was rising on TikTok, right? It was huge on TikTok. So how was that? Like,
we were both. I think he had like 5 songs on like Spotify at that time, and very humble, by the way. But Roxanne was like 3 years after that. But,
Okay.
Yeah, we were performing with Skate, who he was like a Viner.
Mm-hmm.
He was like with like Galinsky and like those
The
people. Jack and those
Okay.
people, like he was in their group, and he went on tour, and I joined the tour, and then that's how I met Arizona. He was there. Royal T, another artist from Arizona. I gotta shout him out because that's my boy. Yeah, Arizona was on the tour, and yeah, basically openers like interacted with each other, and yeah, we were friends, and I knew he had the talent. So when Roxanne came out, like I was so excited.
Of course.
I was like, yo, I know that guy. Like it was very cool.
But how'd you get the tour?
circle.
Were you just like, do you need an opener? Because that's
Yeah.
how a lot of people do it. They're just like, can I open for you?
I'm my booking agent. But yeah, I just reached out to the other guy who was performing, Derek La or Lu. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But I reached out to them, and they were like, yeah, come on. Because it was him and Skate. Like, I guess they were co-headlining, but then they had like 2 or 3 openers. So it was like 5 performers each night. Like,
How many minutes did you guys get?
20,
That's not
15, 20 minutes, yeah. And I met Arizona and Miami, and like he went before me, and they went crazy. So I was like, oh, I gotta go crazy. But like their performance was like, because he was sharing the stage with some other rappers too, and I was just very impressed by how he performed. And then we just connected, and we stayed in touch.
That's good.
Yeah.
So was that like your first performance?
No.
Okay.
That was like my 4th performance.
Your but was it the biggest one that you did since then, or no?
No, the biggest one was the one with Jake Miller.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, after that, yeah.
How did that connection come along?
Oof.
I know he's a Miami boy.
Yeah.
Broward,
yeah.
Yeah.
He well, wow, the history is crazy, because I still am. I support him a lot. But when it was like 2012, 2013, I like biggest like Jake Miller fan. Like,
For real?
I'm obsessed. Like, shout out to Jake, because he really inspired me. And I was so obsessed. I knew his sister was graduating from high school, and they were having the ceremony at the
Yeah.
campus, the BBN.
Mhm.
I don't think that's what it's called, but
The everyone in Miami graduates from there, from high school. Yeah.
from there. So I knew he was there, and so I went to the graduation. Mind you, there's like 15,000 people. I don't know, probably more. And I spotted him in the crowd. Like, I spotted him like outside coming out, and so I had wrote him a letter, because he like inspired me so much. So I went, I introduced myself. I told him, hey, I'm Jamie. Like, Jamie's my name. For those of you who don't know. And like, you really inspired me. And yeah, like, can we take a picture? And yeah, he wrote it, and then he tweeted me that same day. And he's like, oh, I read your letter. Like, it was very inspiring. And so like the years to come, like, I will always go to his meet and greets and like his shows. And so I had a dream of performing with him. And I remember like junior, senior year, I was like, I'm gonna perform with him. And I would, and we were trying to make it happen, but we did like this thing where I told him, hey, if I get like this amount of retweets, can I open for you? And he's like, yeah, we'll talk about it or whatever if you get close. So I got close to it, and then he was like, okay, like, I'm signed to Warner Brothers, and like they choose the
Who
openers.
their openers?
Yeah, and like, I would love to have you, and like, you know, you're like my little brother, like,
yeah,
and I support you. But yeah, like just come to the show, come backstage, like let's kick it. But yeah, maybe another time, like who knows. So I stayed in touch. I know his dad, like his dad loves me, like, because he always saw me at the
backstage, yeah,
and meet and greets and stuff like that. So 2017 came, and I reached out to Scott, his tour manager, which good dude, Scott. And then Jake's dad, he saw the email and he's like, oh, let's have him open for Jake, and then that's how we made it happen.
This is the power of manifestation. Yeah. It works.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. In high school, people were like, "Oh, you're never gonna open for him." Like I actually got made fun of because.
Do people like actually say these things to you?
Yeah.
Cause like I mean I hear people like, oh, people tell me like I'm not gonna do this and that, but like.
Yeah. People were telling me, "Oh, he's a jerk. He doesn't care about you. He's not gonna let you open for him," and da 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 and like, why are you such a fanboy? Like he's okay. Like he's not even that good. All these like things, and like I was very inspired by him because his music at that, he was making like very inspiring music that really inspired me, and so to piss people off, I just bought his shirt, and like I would wear it to school. And then I would be like, yeah, I'm open for him one day. And I said it in a song, like back in the day. I said I'm gonna open for Jake, and then I ended up doing it twice.
How was that?
It was.
Well, you're like I did it. I was manifesting it. I was putting it out there, and now you're here on stage. What was going through your head?
I was just like, I couldn't. Which, by the way, I got late to sound check because there was traffic, horrible Miami traffic. I hate you. I went to get a cordless microphone because the venue didn't have cordless microphones, which I ended up doing the show with a microphone with a cord anyway because they couldn't plug me in. But he was like, "Oh, I was looking for you," and then I was like, "Oh, damn!" Like when he said I was looking for you, because usually like opening acts don't usually always get love from the main artist, but the fact that he was like, "Oh, I was looking for you," I was like, "Oh, he cares." Like that's when I was like, "Damn!" Like I did it. Like I'm here.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, like I belong here.
And I'm sure like he saw your hustle. Like you weren't giving up easily. Yeah. Which is something to respect for.
Yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed is what I say, and it was exactly what you did when you reached out to me on DM. Like you want people to know who you are, so here we are.
Yeah.
So it's good. So your music has been played on radios. How was it listening to it for the first time? Not on SoundCloud, not on Spotify, but on an actual radio station.
It was actually, I was in a car with some dude and he's like, "Oh, act like it happened. Don't get too excited." But I was like, why? Like I'm excited. I was very excited. I was very excited, and like the Jake experience, I was like, oh no, I have something. Because let me tell you, independent artists don't get on the radio. Because
they don't have that label pushing.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, well, most of the time, these songs are being paid for to be on the radio by the labels,
of course,
or if you hire someone to get you on there,
like their streaming managers and stuff like that.
Yeah. So when I heard my song, which it came after Drake's came after, I was like, oh, like no. Not only did I realize I was really good, but I was like, oh no, I belong here because Drake's song came after mine, and they both sounded really good. Like it didn't feel like off. So it gave me more confidence, and it made me feel really good. And it made me, like, all the doubts I had to that point, I was like, no, like, I have something.
This is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, like, I'm on the radio as an independent artist. Yeah, like, independent artists don't make it on the radio. Like, it's hard. Like,
unless you, like, blew up from SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So you're starting to make music. You are putting yourself out there. What is it for you seeing your fan base grow? And what does your fan base mean to you?
My fans are the best. They they keep me going because I have fans from like 2012, like when I
OG.
yeah, when it was like very raw, and my fans are my friends now. Like I text them, like we have a very close relationship, and people have told me like throughout the years, oh don't get too close because you know you wanna make sure that you have like keep them at a distance because you wanna look like you're here and you want to have them here so you could create
like,
a
your
distance.
friends are just listening to your music, like that's it. You're like, no, you will want to have that connection.
And that's actually, I'm like, and I tell people all the time, well, why do you think like people drove like from like Kentucky to Cleveland to see me on tour? Why do you think people went from like Boston to Buffalo, New York to like Cleveland to see me on tour? Is because I have that type of relationship with my fans. So like to me, they're everything. Like they're the ones who buy my songs. They're the ones who come see me on tour. They're the ones that give me the motivation. Like obviously, like without them, like I don't know how it would be like.
They're the foundation.
Yeah, and now they're just my friends. Like sometimes I even feel like I'm offending them by calling them fans because I'm so close to them.
Yeah.
But and I know so much about them. Like, I mean, they're one of my fans, right? She calls me brother, and she's like telling me, oh, I got pissed at my mom. Like I run away from home. I'm like, go back home right now. Like, like we have that type of connection.
It's very close and it's personal, which you don't see that with big artists because what?
Yeah.
So that's how you grow your connection and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have an important question for you. We're here talking about your music, talking about your life. For people that haven't had the opportunity to listen to you, why should people stream your music and what makes you different?
You should stream my music if you're looking for a song to have in all types of situations of the day. Like, my music is very diverse. So you could bump me at the beach, like, or you could bump me at a night ride, or you could bump me if you're depressed, or if you're just, if you're bored, if you're at home, if you're eating, if you're at a party. So you should stream my music if you're looking for music throughout your day, really, because since it's so diverse, like I could connect with you on different times, and what makes me different, I believe it's that, it's like I said, you could play it at the beach, you could play it there, you could all types of moods. And I think, like, for me, I love catching music, and if you love catching music, I think my music is for you.
It's for you.
Yeah.
You're not like Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke, I can't listen to Pop Smoke at 1 a.m. Actually I could, but like at 8 a.m. It's drill music, and drill music is insane.
You might have to ease into it.
You're like, no,
maybe 2
like
p.m.
for the gym type of thing.
Yeah.
Or like when it's been a bad day, you kind of need to blow off some steam. So your music is for whatever mood you're in. Yeah,
for whatever mood. Yeah, and I listen to Pop Smoke in the gym too.
I love Pop Smoke. But a lot of people are like, you listen to Pop Smoke? I'm like, yes, I do. I did find him late though, after he passed away and everything. Yeah. But I was, but yeah, I love his music.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
What is your favorite artist?
Drake, for sure.
Aubrey, I love you too.
Aubrey, yeah.
Top 3.
I love you.
My top 3 artists are Bad Bunny, Role Model, and then Drake.
Roma, I haven't listened to.
I'm gonna put you. He's more like he's considered pop, but it's more like kind of alternative pop, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's more like singer, but he also raps in a couple of songs. So he performed in Fort Lauderdale. I'm doing a free plug-in for him. What is this?
Yeah, I'm gonna check him out. Bad Bunny is everyone's.
I love him.
Favorite.
So we're at the end of our interview. I'm gonna do a little rapid fire questions. You already answered one of them, but dream collab.
Drake.
Favorite song you have out?
97.
Favorite rapper?
Actually, Drake's my favorite artist, but Big Sean's my favorite rapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you dropping new music soon?
Yes.
When?
Few weeks. Yeah.
What should everyone be expecting?
What should they be expecting? Expect expect to feel like you're at a homecoming concert / football game with a bunch of instruments and going crazy.
And where is the best place everyone can go listen to your music, look at your videos, and get to connect with you?
Everywhere. Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, Twitter, TikTok. I'm about to get on, but I'm on TikTok as Baybe Jay, but Baybe as with the baby, and then Jay.
TikTok is moving music.
Yeah, yes it is. My girlfriend tells me all the time, you need to get on TikTok.
Listen to her.
Yeah. I'm about to get on there.
You never know. You could be the next star. Well, anyways, thank you so much for coming on to the show. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, it was fun.
And like always, guys, it's always a pleasure to have you guys on my podcast. Another big shout out goes to Jay for joining us today on today's episode. And with that being said, that is the end of today's episode. I'll see you guys next Monday. Peace the fuck out.